Welcome to the Chef's Kitchen Healthy Fine Dining series. I'm your host, Nicole Gaffney, and we're here today with St. Luke's Monroe campus, joining chefs and doctors together to create healthy new menu options to be featured at their restaurants. And joining me in the kitchen today is Chef Ben Sutter. He's the executive chef of the Settlers Inn, and we also have Dr. Robert Malcolm of St. Luke's Monroe campus. Welcome, both of you.
Hi, Nicole. Nice to be here.
It's great to be here, Nicole.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you both. So what are we making today?
So today we're going to make a seared swordfish with a blood orange drizzle and a couple other accompaniments with it. It's going to be fantastic.
Nice. I love swordfish. So why don't we get started?
So to get started here, first we already have some butternut squash going here. And we are going to also take some beets. These are red beets.
Beautiful.
And we're going to simmer them as well.
Okay. Just have that in water?
Yep, so we're going to add them to the pan, and then we're going to add some water. And some salt, of course.
Now, check out this squash back here. Is this the butternut squash that we're eating, that we're going to be eating?
That is, Nicole, yes.
This is
That's
crazy.
huge, right?
It's like award-winning at one of those
It's huge.
county fairs.
We've got to get this thing out. So, this is a butternut squash, and it doesn't look like a butternut squash, but it is a particular variety of butternut squash grown by Dave Nonamaker, one of our farmers up in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, and it is ginormous. We're going to have a strongman competition with this later.
Well,
What do you
why
think?
did it come out so big? Is that normal for that squash?
That's how he likes it, I guess. I mean, I don't know. No, there's a particular variety of squash that that grows this big, and not a lot of people know about them.
Wow.
And that's why I love this and our other farmers up there, because they grow things that look. I mean, I'm having a hard time holding this thing.
It's
but
super impressive.
Yeah. Right. So they just love growing unique stuff that you're not going to find everywhere. I think it's one of the reasons our restaurants have been successful is because we try to find unique things.
Yeah.
And this is just one hefty, great example of
Yeah,
that.
seriously. You could probably feed every patient at the hospital with that thing.
Yeah, and that'd be healthy eating to boot.
Absolutely. So we took just a little bit of that, and we've got it going in here again with some salt. So we're going to put some salt in here.
All right. Got to make it taste good.
Absolutely.
Now, you're a gastroenterologist, correct?
Yes.
What exactly does that mean?
It means that I'm a doctor of all digestive issues. You know, I see everything in my field from the mouth all the way down to the colon, and I deal with a variety of digestive issues. And any symptom that a patient would come in, I take care of it.
Awesome.
Great. So while we're letting these simmer, Doctor, I'm going to have you cut up some cauliflower with us for us.
Sure.
Again, something healthy. So what we're looking for is florets on the cauliflower. And we're going to cut those up, and then we're going to put them in the oven at 375. Oil,
Roast them
salt,
up.
and pepper.
Very nice. Now, do you like to cook?
I do. I cook a little bit. I cook a lot more in the summer. I'm much more of a griller, actually.
Most guys are.
We grill a lot at the restaurant, too.
Yeah?
So cauliflower, again, we're trying to do things that are healthy here. And cauliflower has a lot of nutrients in it. It's fantastic. We try to put everything on this dish, have a lot of nutritional value, and also try to keep the portion appropriate so that it's
very
something that doesn't have a lot of calories in it,
For sure.
which are some of my favorite things on earth, but you don't want to have too many of them.
It's all about balance.
Right, so while the doctor's cutting that, I'm going to get him a little bit of oil and salt, and we'll bring it over there in a pan. And
Am I doing a
I
good
think
job
you're good.
here?
Oh, you're doing a great job. Your knife skills.
Right.
If
They
the
look
doctor
great.
thing doesn't work out for you, we could, think about
Well, as
something
long as you
else.
got a
You can
good
eat
knife,
the
it
leaves
works
too,
out.
right?
Absolutely.
I like that you're
Absolutely.
including these in there. A lot of people just throw the leaves away, but they actually roast up really nice and crispy.
Real nice.
Yeah.
Almost
So
like
we've
a kale
probably
chip.
got enough pieces there
Okay.
if you want to stop, and I'll let you do that. Just go ahead and put them on the tray,
Okay.
unless you want me to.
Just gonna slide them
Yep,
over.
slide them right over. There we
If I
go.
can't
Get
make a
them over
mess.
there. Yep.
You're
Oh.
a
There
pro.
we go.
I'm just gonna grab the last few pieces
That's
here.
good. That's good. Wow.
You know, cauliflower, broccoli is a great cruciferous vegetable. It's very high in fiber and very good for the digestive system.
Excellent.
Helps you have a great digestion, get your proper nutrients, and helps keep a healthy flora in the bowel.
Great. How important is food to the overall GI tract?
Oh gosh, it's like the cornerstone to healthy bowel, healthy nutrition. And a lot of what I do with my time with patients is I talk about foods and how they make people feel.
Yeah.
And how certain foods increase reflux or heartburn, or how certain foods trigger gas and bloating. And I try to teach my patients about proper nutrition and healthy eating.
Awesome. Now, do you think it's really a one-size-fit-all type of a situation? situation, or is everybody really different?
I think everybody's really different, and I try to individualize diets for people's problem. For example, like a reflux patient, we'll talk about coffee intake, soda intake, garlic, salt.
Really acidic things?
Yeah, acidic fruits, things that will trigger heartburn symptoms. And I try to help them identify those foods in their everyday diet. And we try to talk about ways to reduce the intake of those items.
We'll be back with more from St. Luke's University Health Network. We now return to the chef's kitchen.
Put the cauliflower in the oven. We're roasting at about 400 degrees. We're going to roast until it's nice and crispy on the edges,
Yum.
nice and golden brown. And the butternut squash has been working, and we're ready to make a puree out of that right now.
About how long will the cauliflower take?
So the cauliflower should take 25 to 35 minutes. So in this time, our butternut squash has softened completely, and that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for a completely soft butternut squash.
So you don't want it to have any kind of bite to it, no al dente. Do you find pureed foods are easier for people to digest?
That's actually a misconception. It has
Yeah.
to do with how many sugars are in the food product and how your body breaks it down.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. So how have things been going over at the Monroe campus?
The Monroe campus is so exciting. I mean, the community in the Poconos is so excited about this hospital, but they've been waiting for years for it. It's a great community hospital, 108 beds. We're about to be fully open. We're super excited about it, and the response in the community is amazing.
That's fantastic. And you have all of the St. Luke's resources.
Yes, I mean, it's amazing being part of a big network. You know,
Yeah.
St. Luke's has 7 hospitals all over eastern Pennsylvania and in New Jersey, and the growth has been exponential. We have specialty services in all areas of medicine, and it's great that I can see a patient in the Poconos and I can refer a special problem down to Bethlehem.
Fantastic. All right, so you're waiting to blend this up over here.
Didn't want to do it over, yeah. So we have the butternut squash in the food processor, and I put a little bit of salt in there. Now the key of this is you put a little salt in when you cook, and then a little bit more salt in. If you oversalt at one step, you're going to get something that's very salty and not what you're looking for. But a little bit at each step is always the best way to give
Just
you
layer
a
it.
little flavor. A little bit, yeah, just a little bit at a time. So we're going to blend this up until it's completely smooth.
Okay.
I'm going to take a peek through here. And sometimes, depending on the squash's water content, you might need a little bit more water in it.
All right.
So I reserved some, but in this case, it looks like we're just fine.
Oh, it's
So we have
beautiful.
something completely smooth.
So you do a lot of work with local farmers. You were talking about that just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we do. We work with a lot of local farmers, and the reason is because number one, I already said the unique stuff that we can get from them,
Right.
but also the things that you get are much more healthy because they were picked just before we eat them, and their content of all the nutrients is just so much better. And the flavor, I mean,
You can't beat the flavor.
You can't beat the flavor.
Totally
It's
the best part.
So the next thing that we're going to work with is the swordfish. We're going to portion this up.
It's a nice hunk of swordfish.
It is. It's beautiful. And you can see in the swordfish right here the nice pink color of it. It looks just nice and fresh. And you can see the lines in here are pink and not gray or something like that. It would indicate something that's not as fresh.
Do you like to eat a lot of fish?
I do, and it's great for you. It's super healthy for you.
Yep. Lots of omega-3s and
Correct
Lean
me if I'm
protein.
wrong on this, doctor, but I chose swordfish for this healthy eating because it's a little lower in fat content than some other fish.
It is, it is.
Now, how do you feel about fat overall? Do you think it's
I think fat is good.
yeah, it's been
And I think
pretty
it's making
vilified.
I think it's making a comeback.
It's definitely making a
Yeah.
comeback.
And I've been reading a lot of articles about how the sugar industry was, shamed in the 80s and the 90s, and I think fat is making a comeback
Yeah.
for that reason.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm really happy
yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I mean,
It
one of
never
the most
really had to make a comeback for me. Personally,
I know.
it was always
Well, in the kitchen, it's always
part of
good.
my
For
love.
sure.
And I think that people want to eat a well-balanced diet. And, one of the most important concepts for patients is to eat a well-balanced diet with foods from all the food groups and balance. And I try to teach my patients that. We live in America where excess is such a cultural institution.
Yeah.
And in GI, we try to teach healthy eating to all of our patients in order to make them feel better.
Very nice.
And it works.
Yeah. So these are beautiful little cubes you have.
They are. Now, I'm portioning it kind of cool because we're going to,
Right.
you know, make it. But I also have an example of a portion you might make if you were just, you know, doing it at home or something like that. So we have both here. This is the way I'm going to do it. And so now that we have it there, we're going to season it with a little salt and pepper, of course.
Now, do you like to cook swordfish all the way through, or do you like to leave it a little underdone in the middle?
I don't. I like it a little, just the slightest bit pink, and that's been one of the nicest things I've noticed in the last probably 5 to 8 years, is people are more willing to eat things that aren't overdone, as I would call them.
Absolutely.
And they're open to having it a little bit less, especially pork and swordfish and things like that. And I think that's really exciting because no doubt swordfish, pork, those kinds of things are better when they're just a little bit pink inside. They don't need to be
Definitely.
rare.
Nope.
Just a little bit pink. So we have a little bit of olive oil in the pan.
Do you like to cook with olive oil a lot?
Well, it just depends what you're doing. So there's a lot of different oils. One oil we use a lot, believe it or not, is canola oil because it's the most neutral of all the oils. So you're not getting another flavor in there. When I'm using fish, I like to do olive oil because I feel like olive in most fish, especially swordfish, complements each other really, really nicely.
Mediterranean flavors.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
We'll be back with more from St. Luke's University Health Network. We now return to the chef's kitchen.
So we're going to, now that the pan is nice and hot, we're going to start the swordfish searing in there.
Nice sizzle.
Yeah, right?
It seems like it would be harder to cook as a block like that.
It's going to take a little longer. That's a good observation. It's going to take just a little bit longer. But what we're going to do is sear it on all sides. And so that way you get the caramelization of all the flavors on the outside.
More flavor.
And more flavor is good, right?
Yeah.
So while this is...
So cooking fish like a block is, it's okay like this? Because
It's
normally
okay.
I would cut it really thin and cook it horizontally in the pan.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to think about what your ends are going to be. So if you're cooking a fish real thin like that, it's fine. Just keep it in the pan less.
Okay.
You just don't want to overcook it.
And here we have Terri Marcellus. She's the hotel manager over at the Settlers Inn, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about the Settlers Inn.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Sure.
So we're really thrilled to be here representing the Settlers Inn. We're up in Hawley, Pennsylvania, close to Lake Wallenpaupack.
Of course.
Short drive from the Stroudsburg area, the Lehigh Valley. Wonderful inn. We have 23 guest rooms, many with jacuzzis and fireplaces.
Nice.
Really lovely, cozy, romantic place. So a great place for a getaway. People love to come to us for a little relaxation, to enjoy Chef Ben's cooking.
Oh, yeah.
The food has a great reputation. We do events there, weddings and things like that throughout the year. Great wine dinners that we do
nice.
throughout the year. Yeah, so it's a really nice getaway, quick and easy, just a little break from reality.
Wonderful. Well, Chef Ben has really been impressing us so far with his cooking skills, so
Yeah.
I'm sure it's even better over there at the restaurant.
He does a great job.
Were you going to come back and join us to eat at the end?
I would love to.
Great. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So while we're cooking the swordfish, that's going to take a couple of minutes, we're going to make some blood orange supremes.
I love blood oranges. The colors are just like amazing.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah, love them.
Just starting to come back in season
Yes,
too.
they come back in season, end of November, beginning of December, and as soon as, I'm always calling my produce people.
Yeah.
I want to know as soon as they're there because I want to start picking them up.
And I love when they have like all of the variation in them too.
Yeah, they're just one of my favorite fruits, for sure. So we're going to make supremes out of these.
What does that mean?
So that's just a fancy French name for a cut that doesn't have any of the pith, and it doesn't have any of the pieces in the middle that are connective tissue, if you want to call it that. You
Okay.
probably have a better word for it, doctor, but that's what I'm going to
Connective
call it,
tissue,
connective
Art.
tissue, right?
It smells really
So-
good.
Doesn't
oh,
it?
man,
Yeah.
These are,
It's almost
these are fantastic.
It's citrusy and
Yeah,
orangey,
yeah,
but
yeah.
floral in
Very
a way.
holiday.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
floral, yeah. I just love smelling them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Now,
fantastic.
you're
So
actually going to cook that?
we're not going to cook it. We're going to use it when we plate up here in a little bit.
Okay,
But
okay.
if you'll notice, so we've got it cut so that there's no pith on it anywhere. Well, I'm lying there. I did have to leave a little bit.
You did a really good job though. That's not easy to do.
Why, thank you. So we're going to peel that off. And then right in between each one of the slits, we're just going to take that piece out.
Beautiful.
So we have a few of these, and we'll just lay them out here for ourselves. And
It's a
this
nice
will
technique.
take a minute. Doc, how's that fish looking over there?
I think it needs to be turned.
Need to be turned?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm an amateur.
Go
though.
for it.
Yeah.
No,
Do the
you're
honors,
you're
please.
a pro today.
You only have to go, see? That's the easy
That was
way.
easy.
All right. That's another advantage of cooking it in a block like that if you choose to do it. you don't have to worry about the whole flipping and breaking the fish,
Yeah.
type of thing.
And swordfish is so sturdy too.
Yeah.
We're just about to finish up with a blood orange here. I think we've got enough.
All right.
So we're gonna leave that as it is. How's the swordfish doing?
I think it's doing pretty good.
Not quite ready on that side. So while we have one more thing that we need to make before we can start putting the dish together.
All right, and what's that?
So these are our beets that we started simmering at the beginning of the show. And you can see they have some nice, beautiful color going
Ruby
on
red.
there. So we're gonna do the same test for them that we did for the butternut squash. And we can see that's nice and tender. A fork's going right through it, no problems.
Are you going to puree this then?
I'm going to puree that one as well. Now this one we're going to do in the blender as opposed to the food processor because beets are a little bit different. So the blender is going to help us all out.
Yeah.
Before we do that, we're going to have a little fun though. So I have a little red wine here that we're going to add to the beet puree. Now, for some people, we would just pour this in, right? But if you don't want to have the alcohol in with your food, and personally I think that if you're having a dish, raw alcohol doesn't really belong on the plate, it belongs in your glass, and that's fine. So we're going to actually flame this off to reduce the alcohol
stand
content.
back.
Yep.
What is a flambe?
When it actually lights on fire.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
She's a pro. She's a pro. Great, yep. So look out, we got some fire here. There we are. It's a
Cool.
cold day, so it's a perfect way to warm
Yeah,
up.
definitely.
Yes, so we're going to start this on a low and then bring it up.
Yeah.
So we don't... But we're going to need a little bit, when we get to a certain point, we're going to need a little bit of this liquid. So we'll let that flame off.
And you have fireplaces at the inn too, right? So you
Oh,
don't
we have a
to...
beautiful fireplace. Yeah, everyone likes to hang out
So you
there
don't have
during
to
the winter.
flambe.
I gave you your own personal one.
It's very
Oh, that's
nice.
dangerous.
So we're going to grab this bowl real quick, and while that's flaming off,
I'm going to turn your swordfish
jump
over
in,
for you.
Doc. I love it. I love it.
The cauliflower looks beautifully roasted too. Do you want me to pull that out of the oven?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay.
Well, that cauliflower looks good.
Doesn't it? I want to just
Just
pick
want to
at
put
it
some
with my
salt and
fingers.
pepper on that and pick at it,
Yeah.
right?
What more do you need?
We'll be back with more from St. Luke's University Health Network. We now return to the chef's kitchen.
Okay, so our swordfish is just about done here. So while that's finishing, our wine has reduced. We've got the alcohol out of it. So we're going to pour it into the beets.
Great.
Excuse me.
This meal looks delicious.
I know.
Smells great.
The colors, though.
Thank you,
It's
thank
such
you.
great colors going on between the blood orange and the squash and the beets.
Yeah, I just don't want to get the colors on you.
It's all right. I can always change. That's why I wear an apron.
So we're going to finish pureeing this. There we go.
Nice.
Moving nicely. Now you'll see, even in this, even though we use the blender, there's still a little bit of texture.
Do you
with
like
those
that,
beets.
though? Or do
I
you-
like the texture personally, but if we had done this in a food processor, it'd be even more so.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't find it
Right.
pleasant.
Kind of fibrous.
The swordfish looks done.
It
It's
really,
ready. Yeah,
really
it's ready
looks
to go.
good.
So let's go ahead and plate this up, right? Okay, so first step is some black rice that we made ahead of time. And super high in antioxidants, or so I'm told.
This is basically like a brown rice version of just a different variety.
It is a different variety, yes. It's actually known as black forbidden rice because it was grown in China originally, and the poor people couldn't have it. Only
Really?
the emperor, so it was forbidden, yes.
But it's higher in nutrients than just
I
your
am
average.
told it's very high in antioxidants. You back me up in that, I don't know.
Also high in vitamin E, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent.
There
Good
you
for
go.
the skin.
So this is going to be the first thing we put down. Now again, I'm making a cool little shape out of it, but if you were making it home, maybe you wouldn't want to do that.
Very
to
nice.
you. So we've got our black rice on there, and we have, I cheated a little bit and made some of that beet puree ahead of time.
Gorgeous.
So that's the same idea. And we're going to put a little dollop of that on the plate. Smear that way.
I think having really beautiful food is always important, but especially when you're eating really healthy food, it just makes the experience that much more fun.
Right, I think you say healthy to some people and they think that it's got to be boring.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
This is
and I
not
think
boring.
we want to make something that's not boring, something that's fun to eat, something that's
Definitely.
enjoyable.
So colorful.
So we're going to place the...
And I love how you're sort of mimicking
Swordfish.
the big cubes of swordfish with the rice. It's
Right,
very
again, trying to
geometric.
make it something with your eye. You know, it's as chefs, we talk about this all the time, but you eat with your eyes first.
Definitely.
And so if something looks interesting, it's just going to taste better. So the other thing is we're trying to put a lot of colors on the plate because each color indicates a different type of nutrients that the food has. So now we have some purple potatoes going down on the plate that we did ahead of time, and were grown by that same farmer, actually, Dave Nonamaker. And now the blood oranges.
This is like a painting.
It really is. It's a very holiday-like cornucopia of color.
I'm glad you said that because I've been thinking about cutting off my ear. So I took some of the the juice from the blood orange, I squeezed it, and I just blended it with some olive oil. That's all this is.
Okay.
Depending on the season, you might need a little bit of sugar in there.
It's like a vinaigrette.
Right. Essentially a citronette is what they call it because it's made with citrus juice instead of...
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then we have a little saffron aioli, which you can find a very good recipe for, and we're just going to little dots of this. So again, the key with things, to me, in eating healthy is that when you do have something that has a little bit of fat in it that you want, because this dish just needs a little bit of fat, you don't need a lot of it.
Cauliflower, is that go on top as well?
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
Yes. So, cauliflower on there,
Wow.
a couple pieces of that.
There's so many different elements to this plate. So Terri's joined us back for the tasting, and I am so excited. Well, you guys don't be shy. Let's dig right in.
Yum.
Wow.
Delicious.
The swordfish is great. Chef Ben, thank you so much for being here. The food is amazing. And Doctor, wonderful to have you here. Thank you to St. Luke's. We're very excited to come try this on your menu at the Settlers Inn.
Please do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Become a fan of the Chef's Kitchen on Facebook.